better alva without so we are discussing in our last class what we are discussing.
Drawbacks of justice party.
Justice
Party movement process.
drawbacks of justice party movement. See, justice party where we discussed in the lower caste movement. So it is a kind of the political party which had its nameplate as a lower caste. What are the positives and what are the negatives? Justice party is just a name, but emotion is lower caste. Right? Justice party is just a name, but we discuss the drawbacks and positives of that particular party in the idea of lower caste. How a political party from the lower caste had its drawbacks and had its positive things. That is what we discussed. So say something about the drawbacks of justice party. Yesterday we discussed it, right?
The intermediate caste use the lower caste to gain the
Okay. Okay.
ಪವರ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ
Okay.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರ ಲೋವರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ತೋರಿಸಿ
Okay.
ಅವರೇ ಪವರ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ
Okay.
ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೇನು ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಲೋವರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ನವರಿಗೆ
Okay.
ನೋ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮೊದಲು
Anybody else?
This INC against anti-INC ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ಅವರು ಒಂದು
That was portrayed like anti-ANC. When it portrayed like anti-ANC, it looked like anti-Indian and it looked like a friendly for the Britishers. So it lost its general public support. Next.
Positive of justice.
Positives. Say something.
50% of the seats were reserved for non-Brahmins and even reservation in promotions.
Okay.
was there.
Education.
Okay.
Devdasi system was banned.
Okay.
They become politically different.
Okay.
ಮತ್ತೆ
Protection
ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್
from exploitation of the Brahmins was given.
Okay.
Hamaरे जनाब Devdasi system.
Okay. Okay.
They are over
Okay.
10%
Okay.
sacrifice.
ಆಕ್ಟ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ
Okay. Okay. Then we went for self-respect movement of Periyar or
ರಾಮಸ್ವಾಮಿ
E.V. Ramaswamy. Say something. Self-respect. Let us unite together against this Brahminical supremacy. Let us do celebration and everything without Brahmins. Let us have a self-respect.
To Dravidian culture.
That is the Dravidian thing. That means this self-respect movement is not a North Indian movement. This is South Indian, that is Dravidian culture movement. That itself is the motivation for the current DMK and AIDMK political party. This is the political phase and that is the social phase. Self-respect movement. And some of the journal Kudi Arasu he founded, and in that he preached and promoting his own ideology. Right. Next we discussed Raman Pillai, C.V. Raman Pillai in Kerala. Right. And we discussed about Narayana Guru. Right. Say something about Narayana Guru. Who was he?
Born in 2019.
What is Narayana Guru?
He's a philosopher who has the idea of one religion, one caste, and one humanity.
Okay. Okay. He was good at Hindi and Sanskrit philosophy. Next. Okay. Okay. Next.
ಮತ್ತೆ ನೋ ಒನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ರಿಲಿಜನ್
That was the thing. Next.
ಧರ್ಮ ಪರಿಪಾಲಕರ
Yoga, President PY, that was the thing he established, and he was the founder and president for some
He
years.
followed Advaita.
Advaita philosophy. Next. He
In the
installed
temple, he kept a mirror.
mirror. That shows the Advaita philosophy. Right? Next.
Liquor is a poison by
Liquor is the poison you should not consume.
make it.
Vaikom Satyagraha, that was the national freedom struggle. It's a part of national freedom struggle, and he was the one.
There is no singing and dining together.
Yes, that is the thing.
ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ
Grand handed.
Okay.
ಸೈನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅವರ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್
As not, say not, and think not about the caste. Next.
ಸೈನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅವರ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್
Huh?
ಸೈನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ
How he contributed to science, in the astrology, in physics, and somewhere.
He
Next.
established 40 temples in Kerala.
Kerala, he established temples, right, for lower
He
caste.
wrote few books.
He wrote few books,
Asrama.
and he was not a guru, not just for Ajwas, not just for the lower caste, not just for the upper caste Kerala, not just for Indian society, but also for the universe.
We
Right?
can see relationship physics and astrology.
Yes. So, in a conclusion, we can conclude that his teachings is still relevant for international peace and existence, correlation. Article 51. Next, we discussed Karnataka's lower caste movement. Next, we discussed Andhra Pradesh lower caste movement. And we discussed Bombay Presidency lower caste movement. Okay, take heading. The Bombay Presidency lower caste movement. Here, let us go with the person, Mahatma Jyoti Ba Phule. PHU, in some of the book, you can read PHU. Phule. PHU really. In Bombay Presidency, Mahatma Jyoti Ba Phule was the first reformer, famous reformer, and he founded Satyashodak Samaj. So now take this. He founded Truth Seeker Society, Satyashodak Samaj. Anybody who's had information regarding this Samaj? Do you know this?
ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ವಿಡೋಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು
Very good. Yes.
ಹೌಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬಾವಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತೋಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ
In
Okay.
Pune.
Yes, in Pune.
ಮತ್ತೆ
Hmm.
ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಇದು
They will give that
ವಿಮೆನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
What about Brahmanical and Vedic concept? Far or against? Did he criticize the Brahmanical, Brahmanical supremacy, or he just does he okay with the Brahmanical supremacy or Vedic things? So this is where Samaj going to differ in between the Samaj. In Arya Samaj, there is no problem with the Veda. The problem is with the Brahmins. Here the problem is with the both. That means what? He criticized both Brahminical supremacy as well as the Veda rituals.
Like Manusmriti.
He criticized both Brahminical supremacy and Veda rituals. Vedic rituals. So, being in Maharashtra, Bombay Presidency, he criticizing Manusmriti, he criticizing upper caste, their supremacy, and he is criticizing Vedic rituals. So, which social reformer or which freedom fighter or which legal expert got motivation from this Samaj? Ambedkar. Because his own concept is also same, going against the Vedic rituals, right? So Ambedkar was motivated through this Satyashodak Samaj activity. Later he fight against the caste system. Here Jyotiba Phule, he wrote Sarvajanik Satya Dharmartha Pustak, Sarvajanik Satya Dharmartha, and Gulamgiri. Sarvajanik Satya Dharmartha and Gulamgiri are the two important books which is written by Jyotiba Phule. Savitri Ba Phule was his wife. She founded first school for untouchables in India. The two untouchable women in Bombay, Savitri Ba Phule. First school for untouchable women in Bombay Presidency. Very important. Next, another person here, V.M. Shinde. He was the first one who founded a depressed class mission society in Bombay Presidency. Depressed class mission society in Bombay Presidency. V.M. Shinde. So this is all about Bombay Presidency until Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So after Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, there is the hero. No, nobody else. So take Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as a heading. Say something about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Say something. You know what? While discussing Constitution, in our first day of how many of you remember? I don't know.
Like who's the architect?
What is the full form of this? My political lecturer, Dr. Siddharth Agrawal, he just worshipped this Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, literally. And he used to say at the time, like, Ambedkar never ever take a wrong step, at least in terms of the forming the constitution. Never ever take a wrong step. And if you look at all other, majority of other constituent assembly members, most of them, they criticized Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for different steps which was taken during his constituents assembly, as a member of that assembly and as a chairperson of the drafting committee. But his steps for today's current India's relevance, if you connected his steps which he had to at that time, and that steps current relevances, we are going to know like each and every step which he had taken at that time was really a great steps. At that time it looked like, no, this is not right, or no, this is something which is against the social things, against the social arena, against the social structure of our Indian culture. ಈ ಥರ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರ ಸಮೇತ ಅವ್ರು ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸು ಸರಿಯಾದ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ಲಿ ಸೇ ಇನ್ ಎನಿ ಓಪನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ Dr. B.R. Ambedkar never ever went wrong in any of his steps or in any of his actions. At least forget his political moves, political actions, other social actions, at least in the Constituent Assembly, at least in the formation of the Constitution, whatever steps he had taken, all steps was right steps only. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar never ever gone wrong. Clear? So say something about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂದನೂ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಜಯಂತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ವ, ಅದು ಬರೋದೇ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಹಾಲಿಡೇಸ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 14, ರೈಟ್? ಅವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೆಲವರು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಊರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋದ್ರು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಗಿಂತನೂ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸೋಮಾರಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅವತ್ತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ, ರೈಟ್? ಏನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್? ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಆರ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, he himself was the victim. Next.
Education ಗೆ ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು.
Victim.
He was
Next.
discriminated wherever he went for.
Exactly. So his initial days was something disaster. Next.
That inspired him to do his constitution and new resolution.
Okay, because his own life experiences taught him to do something in his life. That was the lesson. Next.
Collection of
He was from the Mahar community, that was the untouchable community of the Maharashtra. Next. He was not a very poor of that, you can't say he was a very poor person. He definitely was a depressed caste and definitely was a very lower caste. Look at. Definitely he was a lower caste. Definitely he was a video off ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೀವು ಆಚೆ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ. Definitely he was a lower caste. But you can't able to say he was a very you can't able to say he was a very poor, because if you compare that financial level to today's society, as definitely very poor. But the contemporary society at that time, he was not very poor. This is the one thing. But middle class, you can say, because his father had a government job. Subedar, right? This is the thing. So say something.
Architect of our constitution.
Okay. ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು?
ಮತ್ತೆ ರೌಂಡ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಟಚಬಿಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನ ಅಬಾಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಎತ್ತಾರೆ.
ರೌಂಡ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಟಚಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಬಾಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಎತ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ. ವೈಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ.
ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧಿ
Okay.
ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡಿ
ಏನೇನು? ಓಕೆ.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋತಾರೆ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಲಾ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ.
ಓಕೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಹರು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಜೊತೆ. ಓಕೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಅದೇ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್.
ಓಕೆ.
ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ
ಯಾಕೆ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ನ ಕಿತ್ತು ಬಿಸಾಡಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ? UCC and that same ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಆಸ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲು ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆ ಇದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ವುಮನ್, ಅದೊಂದು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಕೇಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ತರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಿಲ್, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಹಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಗಿವ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಶಿಪ್, ರೈಟ್? ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್? ಬೇರೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ? ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ?
ಮತ್ತೆ ಬುಕ್ಸ್
ಸ್ಟಡಿ ವೇರಿಯಸ್
ಸ್ಟಡಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ನೀವು ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಜಯಂತಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ಪಿತಪ್ಪಿ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಅಂಕಲ್ಗಳು ಇದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನು ಅವರು ನೈಟ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಅದೊಂದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಾಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರು, ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದೋ ಡಾಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗಿಂತ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಡಾಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಯಾರು ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ನಂಗೆ ಆ ತರದ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಹೇಳ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಆರ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್?
ಅವರ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇತ್ತು.
ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇತ್ತು, ತುಂಬಾ
ಮತ್ತೆ
ಓದಿದ್ರು.
ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿಗೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಾದ್ರು ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ? ಯಾಕೆ?
ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ
Constitution ಬಗ್ಗೆ.
ಬೇರೆ
ಅದೊಂದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು? Most of his doctorates was not given by the Indian institutions, foreign institutions. Oxford, the great institution of the world, that Oxford institution also gave him a doctorate, right? And some of the foreign famous London University also gave a doctorate for him. London University, UK, the same English, their university gave a doctorate, right? ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು?
ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು.
Okay, Sanskrit scholar. Okay. Any other?
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಇನ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್.
Okay, very good. In under which thesis he got a doctorate? Under economics. Okay. What is Mahat Satyagraha and how he related to that?
ನೀರು
What is All India Depressive Class Federation or Association? How he had related to that? He founded. Okay. Then what else you guys know regarding Dr. B. R. Ambedkar? And what are his journals? Vaishnita Bharat, Mukha Nayak, ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ? And how was his relationship with Gandhiji? While discussing this one, moderates. Before discussing moderate, I guess. No, after discussing moderates. In between. While discussing that freedom struggle, initial first or two, one or two classes, I'm going to discuss the relationship between Gandhi and Ambedkar. So, how is the relationship?
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗಳ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂಥರ
Ideological clash. What kind of ideology Ambedkar belongs to? Modern liberal ideology, which is something hearted for conservative section of the Indians. Gandhiji belongs to conservative and Indian own ideology. Okay, next. In which they both had their differences. In which area? Ambedkar was a part of INC or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And he stand or he contested election in INC or not? No. Then how he was a part? Initially he was a part or later he was a part when he was a part?
Initially.
Initially, and he became a minister under which political party?
Sir, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೋಸ
Then
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು.
initially means
Ah,
after also. Okay.
Like, you can't-
Not Mosa, politics. You can't say Mosa. Politics. INC, ಇವರು ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ INC ಅವ್ರ contestant ಅನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. Politics. Right. They supported their contestant. Next.
And Ambedkar thought about self-respect, self-dignity.
Okay. You know this mass conversion which has happened in Maharashtra one time. ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್ಗೆ ಮಾಸ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
2 lakh people.
ಹಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಡೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯು ನೋ ದಿಸ್ ದಟ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಷನ್. ಅವರು ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 5,000 ಜನರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ 5,000 ಥೌಸಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಜೊತೆ ಅವರು ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ ಅದು? ಹಿಂದೂಯಿಸಮ್ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡೇ he was not very happy with the Hinduism and its rituals. You know, he died with the same same idea. At the end of his life, he did not accept Hinduism. He just converted to Buddhism. Right? This is the things. So, being a UPSC aspirant, not just for the examination point of view, but being an Indian, being a responsible citizen, being an officer, you must know something about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Right? So, take reading Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The first graduate from the untouchable Mahar community. Look at this. First graduate. Forget this doctorate and all. First graduate from the untouchable Mahar community of Maharashtra. And he had a support from Maharaja of Baroda, financial support. Financial support by Maharaja of Baroda. Why he gave financial support? For Ambedkar's higher studies, not for initial studies. Higher studies, which he done in foreign countries. He completed his higher studies and he got doctorate in Columbia University for his thesis on the problem of Indian rupee. The thesis name. The problem of Indian rupee. This is on economy in Columbia University. And he got a doctorate in London University for literature. Doctors for literature in London University. So when he came to limelight in Indian politics, when he entered Indian politics, yes, he was a good student and after one after the other degrees, one after the other doctorates, he was in that mode. When he switched over his mode to Indian political mode, so when he came to limelight politics, what was the turning point? The Mahad Satyagraha of Nasik districts of Maharashtra. Mahad Satyagraha started. He came to limelight with his famous Mahad Satyagraha in Nasik districts of Maharashtra. Mahad, his own community Satyagraha. So, initially his own community, they started to treat him as a leader of their own community. Right? Politics. Demanding for common usage of the civic amenities. Why Mahad Satyagraha was started? Just after demanding the daily usage, civic facilities, civic amenities. Civic amenities means every day ಏನಲ್ಲ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಬೇಕು, that was the thing. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ initially start ಆಗಿರೋದು. So something which is against discrimination by this upper caste. So for the basic class. So what kind of amenities like schooling, temple entry, school entry, right? Water tanks entry and hotel, general public hotels entry, these kind of the general public entities. Or the entry ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ amenities. And he founded All India Depressed Class Federation. All India Depressed Class Federation or Association. And he was the sole representative of depressed class in all 3 roundtable conferences. He is sole representative from the depressed class, of the depressed class, from in all 3 roundtable conferences. And he demanded for separate communal electorate to the depressed classes. He demanded for separate communal electorate. See, what is this communal electorate?
ನಮ್ಮ community
ನಮ್ಮ community ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. What is this? What does it mean?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಹ ಒಂದು representation ಸಿಗಬೇಕು, separate
See, this is where you should very clear. Listen this. What is communal electorate? This is not just getting representation. This is something different only. If we got some representation means ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, that is where reservation and communal electorate differs. Reservation ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಗೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯವರೇ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕೋರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓಪನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್. ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕೋರು ಮಾತ್ರ, ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕೋರು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯವರೇ, ಬೇರೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಏನೋ ಲೀಡರಿಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕೋಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನೇ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. That is communal electorate. Communal electorate, which was asked in Muslim community also, they asked communal electorate. Initially they are agreed for that. So what is that communal electorate? Only Muslims should vote. Otherwise what happens?
maybe
Hindus support was the need of the hour to win over the election. So maybe being a candidate from the Muslim community, he has to get support from the Hindu community. Otherwise, he is not going to win over that election. So what happened? At any cost, he must praise this Hindu community. So how he will praise? He will work for the Hindu community. So the entire concept of this having separate reservation in the politics, that going to that going to fail. Will not reach the intention, right? So something communal electorate is different from the reservation. We are not representing. We are not representing. We ourselves was governing. We are not representing. We are ourselves was governing was the definition for the communal electorate. So what is reservation? Reservation means we are representing the entire community. We are not governing by ourselves. Hope you are getting. So that is where it differs from the reservation. So he asked for the communal electorate, not for reservation, for the reservation in the election. Today we are do we following any kind of communal electorate in India? But we have a reservation, but not communal electorate. This kind of concept should be very clear. Hope you got clear. ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗೇನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಅದೇ ಇರೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ವ ಈಗ? ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಟ್ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎಸ್, ಯಾವ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಗೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಬೇಕಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರು ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಎಮ್ ಎಲ್ ಎ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು. Even though he belongs to that community, depressed community, he will work for other community where he had his vote banks. Yes or no? Other community people ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. So politics ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಗೇಮ್, ಯಾವ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ವೋಟ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು, ಸೊ ವೋಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Even though he belongs to the depressed class, he will work for the upper class just for the sake of the votes, right? So this was the present problem. So this is the difference between the communal electorate and the reservation in the election. So Ambedkar he demanded for the communal electorate, not for the never ever write reservation in the election and all. He demanded for the communal electorate. For whom? Communal electorate for whom? Depressed class. This word is very important and it has a deep meaning. In 1932 August, Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald, Prime Minister of England, Ramsay MacDonald, in August 1932, Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald, he announced, he announced communal award, AWARD award, providing separate communal electorate for the depressed classes. Providing separate communal electorate for the depressed classes. So who went against this? Gandhiji was sitting in a jail, right? He protested against this. So Gandhiji, against the award, he observed fast unto death. Upvasa Satyagraha. Depressed class in communal award ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಉಪವಾಸ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. This was the statement by Gandhiji. So against this, Gandhiji observed fast unto death, sitting in a jail. So in 1932 September, Pune Pact was signed. So again, this is a history I'm going to do in a middle of our movie. Okay, these are the all political game. Pune Pact. ಓಕೆ ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮಿಡ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಏನು ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋಣ ಬಟ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಪೂನಾ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಬೈ ಸಂಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಸೈಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಬೈ ಸಂಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಸೈಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದೇರ್ ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಜನರಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಬ್ರು ಸೈನ್ ಆ ಪೂನಾ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟಿವ್ ಅವ್ರ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಓಕೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ do you want the name one who signed this? MC Raja, right? MC Raja was represented from the depressed class side. Huh? From the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar side, means depressed class leader. And who signed from the Gandhi side? Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad, he was the representative of Congress party for this Pune Pact. That is what we are going to discuss in later days. Pune Pact ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಡಿಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ರೋಡ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ ರಾಮ್ಸೆ ಮೆಕ್ಡೊನಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಕ್ರಾಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಡ ನಮಗೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂಡ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಇಂದ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಮೊದಲು 72 ಇತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನ ಡಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ರು ಡಿಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೋಡೋಣ that is why you must understand what is reservation and what is communal award. He demanded for communal award, but what he got reservation. So through Pune Pact, okay, ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಏನು ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So as per the pact, the depressed class got nearly double the number of the seats reserved in general election. Initially they had 74 seats. So after signing this pact, their seats went up to 146. Means nearly double only. 74 to 146. Hmm? 146. Okay. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar founded a journal called Bahishkrit Bharat and Mukh Naik. Bahishkrit Bharat and Mukh Naik. Mukh Naik. He also wrote. So look at the title of his writing. What did Gandhi and Congress did for untouchable? This is the Title of the book. Another book. He wrote, "What did Gandhi and Congress do for untouchables?" Not did, do. What does Gandhi and Congress do for untouchables? This is the title of his writing. Another title. After Deshvit Bharat and Muknaik. He became a minister in the war cabinet. War cabinet means what? When the World War was happening, when cabinet was formed in India, that itself was the war cabinet, and he was the minister in that war cabinet. So which minister? Law minister. War cabinet means what? When World War was going on, World War II, at that time, the cabinet which was formed in India, so he became a law minister in that war cabinet. And he founded an independent Labour Party, underline that, Labour Party. And that was defeated by Congress in 1945 general election. He contested, and many of his partymen contested against the Congress party in 1945 general election. Along with him, rest of the fellows also got defeated in front of the Congress. Because at that time, Congress was all and soul the super duper political party. Yes. These are the things you must know while discussing Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He became a general of drafting committee for drafting the constitution, and later he became a president of that chief chairman, whatever. After India's independence, he joined Nehru's cabinet. After India's independence, he joined Nehru's cabinet. So this is again, there are a lot many politics behind this. Let us going to discuss in that movie. Okay, there is a lot many politics. He compromised some of his ideas, thoughts, just for the sake of joining this cabinet. Because fighting outside is not at all a good thing. Let us enter cabinet and let us fight there. That was his idea. So he compromised some of his thoughts while entering into the Nehru's cabinet as a labor minister. But later, he just, as a law minister, not labor minister, but later he just came out from the cabinet when he had a dispute with the rest of these cabinet ministers in some of the bill which is related to transparent inheritance of the property and what is another bill? UCC, right? Even today that is a matter of topic of discussion, issue. Why he came out? He had a difference with Nehru and his cabinet on the question of giving property rights for the women, underline this. And he resigned and came out, and he left the cabinet, and he was given Bharat Ratna award after his death. Right. He was given Bharat Ratna award after his death. Everything in India was politics. Everything in India was politics. Birthday celebration is politics. Right? Birthday celebration wishes is politics. So, this in the part of lower caste movement, we discussed Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, critically analyze the lower caste movement. No, this is just a question from my side. Later, I am going to give a same heading, and I'll dictate. But first, you must think upon this. Evaluate this entire lower caste movement. This is a successful movement or failure one collectively in a nutshell. Successful, okay. How it's successful? How it is failure? Tell me first. In terms of leadership, what happened?
Gandhiji Samata.
In some of the, just forget these things what we discussed. Some of the lower caste movements that attracted leaders from the upper caste. Some of the upper caste, one of liberal and intermediate caste and all. So that is not the actual thing regarding the lower caste movement. That should not be the case. But that was happened. That is the one negative. And critical appraisal or critical analysis is what had happened in the past in lower caste movement. That is the one negative. Anything else?
Only utilizing of the lower caste people was happening.
Okay.
And
Is there any, inequality within the lower caste, like subcaste and all? You know what? Untouchability, even the untouchables also had to practice untouchability. That also used to be at that time. Untouchables, even they did practice untouchability with the subcaste within their caste. Okay, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಸಬ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಆ ಸಬ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ ನೀವು ಕೆಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಮೇಲೆ ಓಕೆ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಟಚಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂಥರ ಖುಷಿಗೆ ರೈಟ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ನೀಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫೇಲಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಿರೋರು ಯಾಕೆ ಇವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ರೈಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ You know what? Here, for the failure of this thing, Congress party also had some tremendous role. Divide and rule politics. Congress party did divide and rule politics here. Okay, women wing ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. You know, is woman wing start ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ for the namesake they made this Dalit woman as a leader of the Congress woman wing. So what happened? So ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಐಎನ್ಸಿ ಜೊತೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಸೊ ಈ ಡಿಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಇವರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ವೈಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವುಮನ್ ವಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಡಿಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ವುಮನ್ 50% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವುಮನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ತಗೋಬರೋದು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಸೊ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್ ದಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫೇಲ್ ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ರೈಟ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್
Political power double ಆಗಿ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್
ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್
ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್
ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ UPS is always interested in these negatives.
ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ರೇಸ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಲೈಕ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ
ಎಲ್ಲಿ
ಮಿಡಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಅವ್ರು ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ
ಓಕೆ
ಇವಾಗ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ
ಓಕೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಓಕೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಟಚಬಲ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅನ್ಟಚಬಲ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ
ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ಐಎನ್ಸಿ ಇದಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು
okay see when it was started as a caste movement it after went some time after running as a caste movement for some time it shifted to class movement in some areas of India caste to class movement you know what at that time there is no difference between this because most of the depressed castes are the lowest class of the society most of the depressed castes are the lowest class of the society in some of the areas this lower caste movement looks like a lower class movement and this lower class most of the times the upper caste Hindus are also present so this confusion the class and caste confusion also one of the reasons for the failure of this lower caste movement ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಆ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು ಅವನದೇ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಬಡವರನ್ನು ಸಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಸೊ ಈ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನದೇ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಒಳಗಾಗಿರೋ ಬಡವರು ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ ಅವರು ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ lower caste movement that went off when the caste and class submerge each other at the lower level the main theme of the lower caste movement that went off hope you got my point because the class and the caste that was something different only so in the lower caste movement that merged each other in some areas of India that is another thing so say some achievements of these lower caste movements positives They become powerful. First of all, they become powerful. Next,
ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
they are the part of the decision maker now. Before they are not asking, now they are asking.
ಟೆಂಪರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ತರ
Okay, some of the social evils that went off, and they got some kind of right to equality kind of thing stuff.
ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ
Okay, any other thing?
They got awareness in social political issues.
Okay, awareness. That means they become powerful not only in political arena but also social and economic
ಮತ್ತೆ
things.
ಅವರು ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ
They become well educated. They become some of the officers like IAS and all. Right? These are the things. These are the achievements. So take heading like critical analysis or lower caste movement. Critical analysis of lower caste movement. So what we have discussed, write it in our own words for some. I'll give 2 to 3 minutes. Write in your own words. Critical analysis means what? Both positives and negatives. First write negatives, then positives. And again conclude with this a positive note. ಯಾಕೆ ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
Positive vibe.
ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ವೈಬ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Think and write. Then I'm going to declare for some points. Before that, we should think and we should write some points. Make your handwriting quick. Quick writing is art. Be artist.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು
ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ?
ಲೋವರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಡಿ
ಆಗಬಾರದು.
ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿ
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸಬ್ಮರ್ಜ್ ಆದಾಗ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ನವರು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಲೋವರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್. ಲಿಸನ್, ನೀವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿ ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ನವರು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಲೋವರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದ sensitivity of the lower caste movement got dissolved. Or shall, right? Lower caste took under like this a quite long time. Lower caste took a quite long time to develop their own leadership. See what I'm discussing, the natives took a long time to develop their own leadership. In the beginning of the movement, the movements were led by either upper caste or intermediate caste, but not the lower caste. What is the movement? Lower caste movement. Who are the leader? The leader are from upper caste. So what is this? Nonsense. The first thing. The second one. Within lower caste, they had a sub-caste problem. The caste was divided the moment and affected their strength. ಸಂಘಟನೆಯಿಂದ ಬಲಯುತರಾಗಿರಿ, ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. That affected their strength. The subcaste and caste. This affected the strength and rigor. Strength and rigor, which weakened rigorous training ಅಂತಾರೆ. Rigorous training ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. Rigorous training ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು. Strength and rigor means something which is josh and hardcore spirit, hardcore ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ harsh ಆಗಿ hardcore training. So rigor that weakened. The rigor of the movement was weakened. ಅದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Because most of the time the leadership also divided on the basis of the subcastes. Again, the clashes in between the subcastes for leadership.
Most of the time.
The clashes was between the leadership or between the subcaste for the leadership. One caste ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೊಂದು 5 subcaste ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ 5ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ caste ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿದು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಈ 5ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಲೀಡರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಒಂದು subcaste ನವರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಲೀಡರ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಉಳಿದವ್ರನ್ನ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Like this. This is the problem. You had it successful. The woman came under negative influence of the Congress and Communist Party. See, look at this. These are answer writing style. The woman, they came under negative effect of Congress Party and Communist Party. They came under negative influence of Congress and Communist Party. How?
Women.
Congress political party did divide and rule policy. Underline this. Congress party followed a divide and rule policy, encouraging alternative leadership for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Encouraging alternative leadership for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Yes, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was leader of the Dalits. But within INC also they opened the gate for the Dalits. Harijana Sangha, Depressed Class Association within INC, and woman wing within INC. Woman wing means not just upper caste women but also Dalits. And they met Dalits for they gave most of the posts from the Dalit community in woman wing. So what happened? All Dalit leaders, being a leaders, they just dragged the community members into INC instead of going Depressed Class Federation of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. This was the thing, divide and rule happened, which was done by the Congress. Secondly, Gandhi started Harijana Sevak Sangh. That means Harijana means what? Devara Makkad means they, Gandhi called these Dalits are the sons of the God. And under that he successfully did some of the temple entry movements. And he dragged the attention of the lower castes. So he successfully divided the Dalit community into two parts, one followers of Ambedkar, another followers of the INC. So Gandhi successfully divided the followers, the Dalit community, one the followers of Ambedkar, and then the followers of he himself, that means INC. So I discussed it, right, that caste and class, that clash. The caste and class, that was did by the Communist Party, and they are the reasons, right? The Communist Party made lower caste movement as a class movement. The Communist Party, they made caste movement as a class movement. This caste and class ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 46 ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾಗರಾಜನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಐಎಸ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡಿ. ಎಂ ನಾಗರಾಜನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ 2006 ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ? The Communist Party, they made lower caste movement as a class movement against the exploitation of the upper class, against the exploitation of upper class, not caste, upper class. So this made the lower caste movement was weakened. Hope you are getting. So this made the spirit of the lower caste movement. This weakened the spirit of the lower caste movement, not class movement, lower caste movement. So in spite of all drawbacks, in spite, the word in spite, the movement extremely successful also. All drawbacks, the movement was extremely successful also and got great achievements to the credits. It did some of the good things. Yeah. It got some of the great achievements for credits. It did some of the good things. So what are the achievements? Let us discuss. With the lower caste movement, lower caste was emerged as a powerful force today. Yes or no? Yesterday I discussed it. Ahinda Samavesh, the leader, was current Chief Minister of Karnataka. Right? The lower caste movements, the political phase today, the self-respect movement, and that political phase today, DMK, DMK, that is ruling one or two states in the South India. Right? In West Bengal also that kind of concept is ruling. Here in Maharashtra also the lower class, that ideology was ruling today. So like this is a powerful force today in political area, in political field. So this is the first achievement. Next, with the movements they could eradicate the social evils, and they did it. They eradicated the social evils. What are the social evils they eradicated? At least, not all social evils, at least untouchability, yes or no? At least sati, the social evils like sati. At least the Devadasi system, temple dancing girls. At least which the social evils which affected the dignity of the woman, the social evils, some of the social evils which affect the dignity of the woman. So those things at least was successfully suppressed with these lower caste movements. Some of the social evils which was against the dignity of the woman, that was successfully eradicated from the society. Temple entry and all, right? So with these, next point, with these movements, definitely lower caste got some of the secured guarantees from the constitution or not? Reservation, right? Secured guarantee from the constitution. And all are equal before law. Secured guarantee, legal guarantee. And Article 46, secured guarantee. Article 15, secured guarantee. 16, secured guarantee. Right? These are the things. And 17, very secured guarantee. Right? You should not practice untouchability in any means. Right? So they got secured guarantee from the constitution. That means what? How they got secured guarantee? What is the basis for that? These movements. Otherwise they will not get through constitution. ಯಾಕೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಫೋರ್ಫಾದರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಲಾ ಮೇಕರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನಿಸ್ತು? ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ನೇಷನ್ ವೈಡ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ವಾಯ್ಸೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ವಾಯ್ಸೇ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. They got a reservation, they got security from the constitutional things. So they got guarantee. Even the same thing which later that was connoted as a law, that anti-atrocity acts, anti-atrocity laws, right? These are the things that is not during the constitution making, but later not. But what is the basis? The Constituent Assembly decisions. That means the constitution was the basis, right? ಅಂತ ಮುಖ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದಷ್ಟು ಬರೀಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಈ ಅಟ್ರಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋದು. ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಬರೀ not only this, in terms of the literature also, the Dalit literature, the Dalit literature, very important. Dalit literature, the Dalit literature, you know, Dalita kavi anta yaru kariತಾರೆ. Dalit literature is very famous.
ತುಂಬ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ. ದಲಿತ ಕವಿ ಅಂತ ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ,
ಸಿದ್ಧಲಿಂಗಯ್ಯ.
exactly. So Dalit literature became famous during this lower caste movement. Even today, the Dalit literature was well respected in Indian society. In every language, in Karnataka we are respecting him. Right? In every language we have a Dalit literature, laureates, scholars. So that Dalit literature before they didn't get any respect in the Indian society. But after this movement, the Dalit literature was well respected. So always read the Dalit. The Dalit means giving respect. That's why I said the Dalit. So write like that only. Otherwise you're going to forget this in your exam. Always write the Dalit. At least while writing the Dalit literature, the Dalit. The Dalit literature was
And
respected.
adding respect to that.
Yes. You must add. So this Dalit literature, why they respected means because they included all exclusive things which was done by the upper caste laureates. The problems of the lower sections, that was well represented here in these literatures. Right? Next one. The great ideals and objectives of early lower caste movements are serving as a source of inspiration for the present freedoms movements. All Dalit movements was become a source of motivation for the freedom struggle. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಹೇಗಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಏನು ಬರೆದಿದ್ರಿ, ಈವನ್ ದಲಿತ್ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ the leadership came from the upper caste. These Dalit leaders, they become a freedom fighters. And freedom struggle got some leaders from the Dalit community just for the sake of these lower caste movements. Or because of the reason for these lower caste movements, the national freedom struggle got some of the leaders from these lower caste movements. These lower caste movements leaders, they themselves become a freedom struggle leaders. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. So what topic we are studying?
Lower caste movement.
ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ what is the chapter name?
Mormon constitution.
Huh? Chapter name.
Modern.
First day. 19th century Renaissance and Reformist movement. Under this we are studying this.
Indian society.
Under this we are studying this. 19th century Renaissance and Reform movement. Under that subheading we completed everything. So my question is, critically evaluate the 19th century Renaissance and Reformist movement in 150 words. ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ 150 ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಯುವರ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಅದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೆನೆಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ನೋಟ್. ಏನು ಬರೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂತೀರಿ, ರೈಟ್? The Renaissance in India cannot be called as a Renaissance. I discussed this in initial class. Renaissance in India cannot be called as a Renaissance in real sense when we compare with the rest of the world. When we compare with the rest of the world, because it had certain limitations. See, ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದು. ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್.
Initial stage.
ನೋ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ರೈಸಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಒಂದು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ತರ ಇದನ್ನ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ರೆನೆಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫೇಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆಯೋದು. So how it was failed when we compare with the rest of the words in Renaissance, it was failed. So how it was failed ante ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರಿ?
Initial stage.
ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದಾಗಿದೆ? The Renaissance in India cannot be called as a Renaissance in real stage or in real sense when we compare with the rest of the world, like in Europe and all, because it had certain limitations in India. It had certain limitations. So what kind of limitations is our answer? First one, Renaissance started in Europe as a great cultural movement. Connect over first class on Renaissance. Renaissance started in Europe as a great cultural movement. By bringing change in art, architecture, music, literature, painting, art, architecture, music, literature, painting, by bringing change in all these areas. By bringing great change in art, architecture, music, literature and painting. Whereas in India, it was confined to only social reform movements. Yes or no? Whereas in India, it was confined to only social movements. ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? So Renaissance in a full spirit was not implemented in India. It was reached the full spirit as like in Europe, as like it was reached in rest of the European countries, right? So only here the social reform movement was happened. So Renaissance, which was something broader than this reform movement. That's why in the initial class I discussed the different things. Renaissance is something broader, and reform movement is one among them. And in Indian social reform movements, if you look at 19th century Renaissance, only we get the social reform, but not the entire stretch of Renaissance, which we will get to see in Europe. So what are the areas where Renaissance experienced in Europe? Art, architecture, music, literature, etc. Right? These are the areas also Renaissance experience. Here in literature, we experience something like there is literature and all, but in rest of the areas, no. Only social reform movements we experience in Renaissance. Next. In India, the Renaissance was not focused on art, architecture, music and literature. So the scope of Indian Renaissance is very much limited. The scope of Indian Renaissance was very much limited. Right, in next point. In Europe, Renaissance was revolution in ideas. Renaissance was a revolution in ideas. What is revolution? You know the definition of revolution. Revolution in ideas. Man questioned everything there under Renaissance. Man questioned everything. Revolted against religion too. And made themselves could come out from all kind of controls, especially a religion control. I'll repeat, don't worry. Made an attempt to liberate himself from controls of the religion. In Europe, Renaissance was a revolution in ideas. Man questioned everything and revolted against the religion and made an attempt to liberate himself from the controls of the religion. Right? Whereas in India, Renaissance failed to develop a secular platform. Yes or no? Failed to develop a secular platform. Yes or no? Because what is the heading? Hindu reform movement, Dalit reform movement, Muslim reform movement. In Muslim also, conservative section movement. So, this secular movement. No. So, again there is a division. That is not the case
Division
in.
among a differences.
Yes. So, our concept in Western countries. So, their Renaissance is something different from our Renaissance, and their Renaissance is successful Renaissance, but our Renaissance is not so successful when we go with the definition of the Renaissance. Right? This is the thing. So, in India, Renaissance failed to develop a secular platform, and on the other hand, it centered on the religious and social reforms. ಏನು ಆಗಬಾರ್ದಿತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತು. On the other hand, it centered around the religious and social reforms. Centered around the religion. Okay, have full stop there. On the other hand, it centered around the religion. It should not be the case. It should not be the case. Then also it centered around the religion. ನೀವು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 19th century social reform ನ religion ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓದಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. There is no social reform without religion. But that is not actually Renaissance. Renaissance means what? Should come out from the religion for the first. That is the initial step of the Renaissance, what we experience in Europe and all. But here that is not the case. So this is the negative. Right? Next. In Europe, Renaissance became a reason for the development of the local languages. Underline local language development. Renaissance developed the local languages and local culture and helped the people to come together and to form into nation states. Underline this. And to form into nation states. And form into nation states. Nation states. See, you know this, what is nation state concept? Here I'll discuss something. This is the international relation topic. While doing international relation, I'll do this nation state. This is something USA and Western concept. This is not India's concept. Here in India, one citizenship, right? Namge state-wise citizenship illa. In schedule part 5 of our constitution, we'll get citizenship from one citizenship. Indian citizenship ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ citizen ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. Indian citizen ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. But that is not the case with the Western countries. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. You know what is USA?
United States of America.
But ಬರೀ ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗಳು ಯುನೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕ, ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? The states are united, then become America ಅಂತ. And each and every states, like 50 and odd states unite ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? And each and every states, it had all the rights to came out from that United States. Whenever it feels insecure by being united, if it feels insecure for being united, it have all the rights to moving out from this United States of America, being an independent state. So that is not the case in India. Here we don't have any rights. ನಾವು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಬೇರೆ ನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕೇರಳ ಬೇರೆ ನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ತಮಿಳುನಾಡು ಬೇರೆ ನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಿಡಿ ಸಿಖ್ ಬೇರೆ ನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಖಲಿಸ್ತಾನಿ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ತಮಿಳುನಾಡು ಬೇರೆ ನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ತಮಿಳಿಯನ್ಸ್, ದ್ರವಿಡ ಕಲ್ಚರ್. ಸೊ ಈ ತರದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲಿಸನ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ನೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಆನ್ ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ನೇಷನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್. Where United States of America. Here in India we have a different states. So the border of the states can be changed by the Parliament of India. The border of the states can be changed by the Parliament of India using Article 1. The border of states can be changed by the Indian Parliament by using Article 1 and 2. But that is not the case with the European countries, even America. Because the states itself is a main entity, but not the entire country. The state itself is a main entity and independent entity. And it had an agreement with the Union. United States. So united by agreement. If agreement was not signed or not went well, they have all the rights to move out. That is not the case with India. Here, not United States. This is one country and we divided these states. We divided the India in different states, as a different states. Right? ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸತಿ ಕಾಸರಗೋಡು ಮೊದಲು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಕೇರಳ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. ಆ ತರದೆಲ್ಲ US ಯುರೋಪ್ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅವರದ್ದೇ. ಅವ್ರು ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಬಿಡೋದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ? ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ದಾಳಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕ್ರೀಮಿಯಾ ವಾರ್ ಏನಾಗಿದ್ದು, ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ರಷ್ಯಾ ಯುಕ್ರೇನ್ ವಾರ್ ಏನು, ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಅಂಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರಿ? ಇದು ಬರೆದ್ರ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇಂಟು ನೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್. ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೇ ತರ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ಸ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ದಾಯಿಂದು ಓದ್ತಾ ಸುಮಾರು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಬಂದು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು ಅಂತ. ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಅದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಡಿಗೂ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಬರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಡಿಗೂ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್. Whereas India, unfortunately, Renaissance divided the society. Instead of uniting together, it divided the society. On the basis of the caste and community, it was responsible for the divisionist tendency, like two-nation theory, Arya Samaj. It was responsible for the division of society, like two-nation theory, Arya Samaj. Indian culture means Hindu culture. India is for Hindus. This is no. So ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು? ನೇಷನ್ ಒಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆನೆಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ರೆನೆಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದನೇ ನೇಷನ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆನೆಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಎಂತ ಸಮಾನ? ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ರಿ? Unfortunately, Renaissance divided the society on the basis of the caste and community. It was responsible for the divisionist tendency. Like two-nation theory. Clear? Which finally became the basis for formation of Pakistan. So conclude your answer in Renaissance question. Conclusion is positive. ಹೇಳಿ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು 5-6 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಆನ್ಸರ್? However, in spite of limitations, ಎರಡು ಹಾಕೋಣ. However, in spite of limitations, ಒಂದು ಕಾಮ ಹಾಕಿ however ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ in spite of limitations, Renaissance did plays a positive role. Underline positive role. Renaissance did plays a positive role and has certain achievements to its credits. And had certain achievements to its credits. What are the achievements? It definitely made a good beginning. Underline. Towards what? Good beginning towards progressive society. It definitely made good beginning towards progressive society. Though the beginning was not perfect, look at the answer right instead. Though the beginning was not perfect, the credit should go to this Renaissance for initiating this change. Though the beginning was not perfect, then also the credit goes to this Renaissance for initiating some changes in the society. Right? Next. It definitely brought, leave there and write. It definitely brought a change in the attitude of the divine, the change in the attitude of the individual towards himself and towards his own caste, towards his own community and towards his own society. Self-respect movement. We're discussing this must link to self-respect movement. Definitely brought change in the attitude of an individual towards his own caste, his own community, his own society, his own things. Right? His own himself, first of all. Today, India could emerge as a democratic, liberal and secular society. Today, India could emerge as a democratic, liberal and secular society mainly because of this Renaissance foundation. Yes or no? Today, India emerged as a democratic, liberal and secular society mainly because of this. So, yawaga democratic, liberal and secular concept alla bandiddu Constituent Assembly meeting alli. ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅನದರ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿರೋದು. Today, India could stand as a democratic, liberal and secular society mainly because of this Renaissance. Hope you are clear. With the Renaissance, women to a greater extent could liberate themselves. ಆಚೆಯಿಂದ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವರು ಕರೆಯೋದು, ಈಚೆಯಿಂದ ಇವರು ಕರೆಯೋದು. ವುಮೆನ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್. With this Renaissance, women with a greater extent they liberated themselves. ಶಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಜನೆಯಿಂದ ಅವರು ಲಿಬರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗ, ರೈಟ್? ಹಾಗೆ could liberate themselves from the control of the religion and they enjoyed equality in the society. How is going on ಶಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಜನೆ? ಬಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹತ್ತಣ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರು ಫ್ರೀ.
ಸರ್ ಅದರದ್ದು ಗುಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಆಚೆ ವುಮೆನ್ ಲಿಬರೇಷನ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ಸುತ್ತಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು
ಅದು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಜನೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಿಂತನೂ ದೇ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೆಡ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸಿ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಜನ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಒಂದು ಬೈ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಟ್ ದರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋ. ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋ ಪ್ರತಿ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ. ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋನ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಅದು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದೇನು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋದಿಂದ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಹೊರಗಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು. Yes or no? They are not implementing something which is not there in the election manifesto. They are implementing what they told, what they promised. So they are keeping their promises. What is there in that? And for that promise we voted. We means in general. For the promises which they gave in the name of the election manifesto, they are implementing that. And for that promises we voted. Rampant majority. That means what is wrong in that? Political perspective wrong alla. And economic perspective ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ this is matter of debate. But you never ever you can conclude this is wrong because ಅವ್ರು ಹೊಸದೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋ ನೋಡಿ ಜನ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂಡ್ ರಾಂಪೆಟ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಗೆಲ್ಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Yes or no? So what is wrong in that? That's it. Politics. Next. Women great. Women got a greater extent of liberty and they liberated themselves from the control of their religion and enjoyed the equality and the equal they came out from the all social evils like child marriages, sati was ended. This child marriage and sati ending, these are the reason for these social reforms, right? Renaissance, ending this child marriage and everything.
ದೇವದಾಸಿ.
Devadasi, because these Raja Rammohan Rai, Shoshan, these are all the social reformers. So that is the result.
ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಈವೆಲ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ
Yes, yes, yes. This is the core topic. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಈ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ವುಮೆನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ರೈಟ್. ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಇದೆ, ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ರೆನೆಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ಡ್ a new literacy trend called new literacy trend. Thus, Renaissance inspired new literacy trend called literacy trend, the Dalit literatures, progressive literatures. So Renaissance not only give India a class of reformers, but also
ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಫೈಟರ್ಸ್.
nationalist leaders, freedom fighters. Not only give a class of reformers, but also nationalist leaders. That means the front line politician. That means the freedom fighters, first line politician. So overall, these nationalist leaders, they came from this social reform.
ಎಂ ಜಿ
M.G. Ranade, Dadabhai Naoroji, first of all, Parsi reform movement. Anand Mohan Bose, Brahma Samaj. Justice Ranade, M.G. Ranade, which Samaj? Architect of the Samaj. Which Samaj?
ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನಾ ಸಮಾಜ.
Prarthana Samaj. Very good. Who founded? Okay. Renaissance did give a clear direction for the future India, yes or no? At least for the constitutional forefathers, how it should be. India should be secular, India should be progressive, yes or no? To secular and progressive, you should say you should include Article 14, Article 15, Article 16, 17 especially. So it gave a clear direction for the India. India means who? Constituent Assembly members. It gave a clear direction for the India, for its future. Renaissance, that is another positive. For this extent, Raja Ram Mohan Rai was called the father of modern India. Yes or no? So, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆದಿರೋದು. In another words, see, ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಈ ತರ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. In another words, understanding modern India would be incomplete without the Renaissance. ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೀಗೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೋಯಾ ರೆಬೆಲಿಯನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಕೋಯಾ ರೆಬೆಲಿಯನ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ರೆನೆಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ reading Renaissance, without discussing Renaissance. This is the proper conclusion. So, by that note, we completed a concept called 19th century Renaissance and Reformist movement. The biggest chapter in the name of that, I completed so many social issues concept, essay concepts, and so many even ethics paper concepts. Okay. So, the movie going to start from here. Take heading Freedom Struggle. Again, here the introduction of the movie, the title is very boring because I am going to discuss some of the political parties, the initial political parties. Prelims is very important. First, you prelims concept ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ boring ಇರೋದು. Again, freedom struggle. Underline this word struggle. Freedom struggle. And I'll ask question after completing 1947. Where is this struggle and for the what sake? Yes, you will experience a lot of struggle. But for what? That is the matter of the question. Right? How will you define? How will you say that is for the political? So what is politics? What is politics? Giving good for the India. What is politics? What is their own? There is nothing own, only country. So freedom struggle. It is not individualistic. It is a country sake, collective.
ಎರಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ.
ರೈಟ್. ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಸೇ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿನೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ,
ಒಬ್ರು ರೆನೇಸಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ್ರು ಅಂಡ್ ಮೂರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಇದೆ. ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡರೇಟ್ಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್, ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Different movements which were started by Gandhi that never ended. That is not a successful. Each and every movement which was started by Gandhi was a failure movement. And failure, how you can,
You should write like that, sir.
yes, you should. Yes, that is a recorded history. What is there in that, writing that? That is recorded history. Okay, give any movement which started by Gandhi which had its, which reached its aim. No movement reached its aim. And most of the movements which was ended in a disaster mode. Sudden recalling of the movement. ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಯಾರು ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಾಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಡೀ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? ಅದು ಹಿಂದಿನ ದಿನ ಇವ್ರ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುಟ್ಟಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಯೂತ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಆಗಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳೋದು ಈ 5 minutes ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗುಡ್. ಬನ್ನಿ ಹೋರಾಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೆಟ್ ಎ ಫೈರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಫೈರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವ್ದೊಂದು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಡೀ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರು INS ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಸುಟ್ಟಾಕಿರೋ ಯೂತ್ಸ್ ಕತೆ ಏನು? ಎಸ್, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್. ದೆನ್ ಬೇರೆ so why it is unique, why India's freedom struggle is unique compared to the rest of the world?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಹಿಂಸಾವಾದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
That ahimsa vada, okay, I'll discuss this while discussing quit India movement and what kind of ahimsa.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳುದು ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಾಗೆ.
ಹೌದಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ಬಿಟ್ಟೋದ್ರು? ವಾಪಸ್ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಯಾರು ಕಟ್ತಾರೆ? ಈ ಒಡೆದೋಗಿರೋ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡೋರು ಯಾರು? ಈ ಒಡೆದೋಗಿರೋ ಬ್ರಿಡ್ಜಸ್ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ನೀವೇ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಬಿಟ್ಟೋಗಿರೋ. ಸೊ ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾನ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? First thing. Then, why it is unique in a world? Indian freedom struggle is definitely unique. Look at the years which was fought. Where we are? 80s, 1800 and 1947. 1800 is ಈಗ ನಾವು.
Almost 2 century.
Oh, see, freedom struggle should be 1 or 2 years maximum. This is the longest freedom struggle in entire world, and this is the largest freedom struggle. Mass movement. Entire Indians are the part of it. Mass. This is the, in terms of the mass and in terms of the period, this is the longest and the largest movement in world history. Not just Indian history, in world history, this is the longest and largest movement, the freedom struggle.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ದೇಶದ
It is history of the mankind itself. ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಉದ್ದವಾದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್, ಅಷ್ಟು ವಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್, ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ನೋಡ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್. ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್. ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್. And they accepted non-violence as a means of their agitation, but that was not able to implement it in most of the cases, right? Theoretically, they only accepted, not implemented. What is Satyagraha? Satyagraha? They are protesting for the truth, for the right cause. That is Satyagraha. These are the ideals of our freedom struggle. Satyagraha and non-violence, two beautiful eyes. Satyagraha and non-violence, right? And next, say some factors responsible for this freedom struggle, or say something about freedom struggle. There ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಇದೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್, ಇದೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಇದೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಫೈಟ್ಸ್, ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ?
ಅಷ್ಟು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ದೇಶದವರು ಬಂದು ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಕೊಳ್ಳೆ ಹೊಡೆದರು.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಳ್ಳೆ ಹೊಡೆದು? ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ 1858 ಆನ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಲೂಟ್ ಇದ್ರು? ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ. How they looted India? What salary? ಅವ್ರು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಮರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವರಿಗೆ? ಫಾರಿನ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅವಾಗಲೂ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವಾಗಲೂ ಅವ್ರು ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಸೊ 1858 ಅವ್ರು ಲೋಟದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಅದು ಟ್ರೇಡ್
ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೊದಲು, ಆಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 1858.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ವೀಕ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಜೊತೆ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ.
ಎಸ್ ಯಾರ್ ಅದು ಅವಾಗ, ಇದು ಇವಾಗ. ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಹೀಗೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವಾಗಿಂದಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಹಾ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೇ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್. ಬೇರೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಓಕೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ 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 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್. ಸಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್, ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿದಿಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೊರಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಅಡ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ಗೆಟ್, ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಹಾಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದಿನ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ರಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. The Indian freedom struggle from here to 1947, very important. The entire movie. Take. The India's freedom struggle was unique because this is the longest mass-based struggle. The India's freedom struggle is unique because this is the longest mass-based struggle in the history of mankind. And the prolonged one, prolonged struggle for the liberation of the country. Prolonged struggle for the liberation of the country. Even though it was not able to implement successfully, it was the only struggle which accepted non-violence and satyagraha as the theme of the revolt, theme of the struggle. Even though it was not able to implement properly, it was the only struggle that was accepted. Non-violence and satyagraha was the main theme of the struggle. They are the means to attain freedom. Non-violence and satyagraha. ನಿಮಗೆ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ರಿಪ್ಪನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
How was he?
He was friendly with the
Okay.
Indians.
ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ಜನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ? How was he?
Partition of the-
ಅವ್ರು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Who is good fellow and who is bad fellow?
Ritwan is a good fellow.
So India experiences both kind of officers. One is good, one was friendly for the Indians, and one was somebody aggressive, and one was somebody oppose the each and every the steps of the Indians. So English faced both friendly officers and anti-officers.
Indians face it.
Sorry, Indians faced both friendly officers and anti-officers, bad officers and good officers. Right? So, right. Factors responsible were, next point. Why this freedom struggle started like that? The repressive and reactionary policies of the Lord Lytton. Responsible were, under that first point. The repressive and reactionary policies of Lord Lytton, LYTTON. The progressive and liberal policies of the Lord Ritpan, not Curzon. The progressive and liberal policies of the Lord Ritpan. The progressive and liberal policies of Lord Ritpan both substantially contributed to the spirit of nationalism. Both substantially contributed to the spirit of nationalism. See, ನಾನಿದ್ಯಾ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ listen. India experiences two kinds of officers, good officers, bad officers. Macaulay, he introduced education and he introduced the concept of right to equality, he introduced the concept of rule of law. We discussed it. This is the good thing. And that is the reason for the lower caste movement anta ಹೇಳಿದೆ. And this lower caste movement is the reason for the freedom struggle. We are connecting. So good thing is also substantiated for the freedom struggle, as well as bad things definitely substantiated. That is the motivation. ಅವ್ರು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ನಾವು ಅಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನರಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಿಬರಲ್ ಪಾಲಿಸೀಸ್ ದಿ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ರಿಪ್ಪನ್ is also a reason for the freedom struggle that I want you to remember and I want you to write. The progressive policies ಏನು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಮಾಡಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ರೀಸನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಗೆ ಅಂತ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅವೇರ್, ರೈಟ್?
Whatever they did good.
Whatever
That
they
they
did.
saw benefit of them.
Yes, yes, yes. ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಗೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತು. Lord Lytton, he held the Grand Imperial Darbar in 1877.
During Sona.
Yes, Madam Empress of India ಅಂತ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. Lord Lytton held Grand Imperial Darbar in 1877. See, 1857 ವಾರ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 1858 ಗುಡ್ ಗವರ್ನೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿನ ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ವೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ 1877 ನಲ್ಲಿ ದರ್ಬಾರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಂಪೀರಿಯಲ್ ದರ್ಬಾರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ಮೇಡಮ್ ನ ಎಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಇದು? ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮನಿ, right? Like that. This was something wasting public money. When Deccan was really feeling, really which was under famine. So this was happened during the famine time. So when Deccan experienced famine, these officers, they just wasted the public money in the name of Imperial Darbar and all. Moreover, Queen Victoria was declared as the Empress of India for the first time. Next one, in 1878, Lytton introduced Vernacular Press Act. So what is this and all? Let us going to discuss later. Vernacular Press Act. Media. ಇವಾಗ
And arms act.
ಇದಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಎಸ್, ಆರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಟ್ ಲೇಟರ್. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ದಿಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್, ವರ್ನಾಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್. ಯು ನೋ ದಿಸ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಾನಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಚಾನಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ರೈಟ್? ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್. ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್, ಅರ್ನಬ್ ಗೋಸ್ವಾಮಿ.
Yes, sir. Republic
India, Republic TV which was started in 2017. In 2019, Republic Bharat was started in Hindi. Right? In 2021, I guess, Republic Bangla started in West Bengal. And in 2023, Karnataka, Republic Kannada. This was his fourth branch here. Right? ಮೊದಲು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಟುಡೇಲಿ ಇದ್ದವರು ಅವಾಗ 2017 ಇಂದ ಮೊದಲು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಟುಡೇಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಶ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರೇ ಓನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು.
He went to jail.
ಅದು ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕರ್ಬಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಆಟೋನಮಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಮ್, ಫಾರ್ ಕರ್ಬಿಂಗ್ ದ ಆಟೋನಮಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಮ್. And 1879, to discourage the Indian middle classes, from entering into civil services. Make your hand speak. To discourage the Indian middle class from entering into civil services, he reduced the upper age limit from 21 to 19. Very important. These are all things we are going to study in our later classes. Just take it as an introduction here. He reduced the upper age limit from 21 to 19. 21 to 19. Reduce it. Okay? First. Okay, next point. Civil services. reserving 1/6 of the total number of votes for the Indian princely family and aristocracy family. 1/6 in civil services. They reserved 1/6 of the seats, 1/6 of the seats for Indian princely families and landed aristocracies. Elites. From the total posts. This is the one side. On the other hand, Lord Ripon, he introduced a series of liberal and progressive reforms. Liberal and progressive reforms. In 1881, the first Indian Factories Act was passed. The first Indian Factory Act was passed. 1881. Regulating the working hours of the women and children.
First.
Indian Factory Act. This is we're discussing Article 24. No, 24 is. We're discussing 24. This one, women and children, child labor. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೇಬರ್ನ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಪಾಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್. ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈಗ ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಂಟರ್ಟೈನ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅಥವಾ ಏಜ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಏಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು, 14ಗಿಂತ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರೋಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಥರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಲಿಬರಲ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ. The first Indian Factory Act was passed, regulating working hours for women and children. For regulating working hours, 8 hours ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿಸಬಾರ್ದು ಹಾಗೆಲ್ಲ, right? So these are the liberal policy also ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So ನಾನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯಿತು ಅದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್. ಲೈಕ್ 1885 ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಏಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡರೇಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಟಿಲ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್, ದ ಬೆಂಗಾಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓನರ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ, ಬಾಂಬೆ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್, ಮದ್ರಾವ್ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್, and East India Association in London, right? Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, Indian Society. These are the things. These are the initial political parties. This is very important, and this is important for the examination point of view, that is belief point of view. But after this, when we will start the formation of the Congress and West moderate sections, these are the things. This is very important for the exam, and it is interesting too. And that is for the mains, and even in prelims also nowadays they are asking questions in those areas. Okay, initially they used to ask questions in these areas, political parties and facts and figures, but now they are asking questions in both there also. Okay, formation of Congress and rest of the things. We are going to discuss that in our later classes. When is our next class?
Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.